Greetings in Chatelet, everyone. This is going to be a quick review on Bowers & Wilkins B&W PX. This has been out for a year. I skipped it, and for a lot of reasons, but it's over a year old and the price has dropped, so I went and got one at the bargain price. There's a hard case for it. Zips up. Fairly bulky. Way too big and heavy for a backpack. This is very heavy. And too heavy for any backpack, I think, reasonably, but might work okay in carry-on luggage. Here's the headphone sitting on the inside. This kind of reminds me of a Grado headphone case. And we have the, of course, the charging cable here, which is USB-C to USB-A, and we have a little headphone cord in case you want to go wired. And most recently, let me stop for a second and say that on my YouTube channel there's no comments. That's because of YouTube, not because of me. So if they ever fix their problem and their deliberate bypassing of the editorial content, then maybe I could restore comments again. But you can get a hold of me on my website. You know where it is. So anyway, the most recent thing I reviewed, this Marshall 3, Major 3. It was also Bluetooth, with their little Bluetooth button up here. But Marshall 3 is an on-ear with very tiny ear cup openings, and very good headphone. Actually, this one here, the B&W, not only is a round ear with fairly good-sized ear cup openings, compared to something like a V-Mode M100 or the Wireless 2, where the ear cups are very snug around my ears. My ears are pretty average, and a lot of people just can't fit in there. This is slightly larger, so I think this will accommodate more ears than what the V-Modes do, unless you have their XL ear pads. But anyway, the construction of this ear cup, it's deep, and it's there's a lot of empty space in there. I suspect that contributes to the hollow sound here, because there's quite a hollowness to the sound. That would be in the lower mid-range, maybe spanning 300 to 600 hertz. Big emphasis there, gives it a hollow sound. The treble's not that bad, pretty neutral. And I have to point out that I judge these things, as you know, by the comparison to the sound of live music, not the comparison to my ears and how I hear it. If we sit at a concert together and we hear live music, we're hearing the same thing, even though our ears might interpret it differently. As long as the headphone sounds the same as the live music, then we know the headphone is accurate, regardless of whether our ears are accurate or not. So anyway, this thing is heavy. It's just it's twice as heavy, or seems almost twice as heavy as that Marshall. But there's a lot of metal here, and it's just gold plating or gold colored paint or whatever it is. But nice to look at. Here's all the buttons on the side, volume up, down, and whatever. And then Bluetooth on-off button down here at the bottom, and then the noise canceling button right here. The good news is when this is turned completely off, it comes back on with the noise canceling off, or maybe it just defaults that way. Maybe it isn't because I set it that way, but that's good. Noise canceling has a noticeable hiss, a substantial hiss, and it's if you need it in an extreme situation, fine. But the isolation on these ear cups is very high. It's much better than an average around ear or closed back headphone. So pretty good in that respect. And this will fit a very wide range of heads. And here's the ear cups pulled all the way down. You can wear this around your neck all day without it bothering you, because the ear cups fold flat against your chest like that. So very good design in that respect. The ear pads are weird. They have a kind of a sharp bevel here, and because of that opening, and I guess they want to keep the size down, so they're not as comfy on the going around the ear as a lot of headphones, but they are soft. There's not much depth to the bevel here, so anyway, they're comfortable on me. Some people might complain a little bit about that narrow bevel there, what it does. But anyway, the only big objection I have to this headphone is that they kind of insist that you get the app. It'll work fine without the app, but you know, I just don't like the fact that the headphone has to be on and charged up to use with a cable. So there's no true passive mode on here, you know, like there is on that Marshall over there. It actually has to be charged up and turned on to work with a cable. So how that affects the sound, I don't know. Whether there's any sound processing going on with that when Bluetooth is off and when the noise canceling is off, if there's still sound processing going on, I suppose there might be, because there's amplification built in of some sort. They say that you can use this as your DAC, you know, plug it directly into the digital output of a computer and it'll play music, so a DAC's built in here. And that's not ideal. It'd be better if I could bypass that DAC and with the cable and plug into a good, you know, DAC like maybe even a Dragonfly Red or something to that effect. So I didn't test this for sound leakage. I'm just going to guess it's average to low, but the isolation's pretty high without the noise canceling. So in most cases, I think you probably won't even need that noise canceling. Headband, there's it looks thick. There's almost no padding there, and this is fairly heavy. So if you can adjust this where the ear cups take up some of that weight, you'll be better off. You won't have so much of it pressing down on your head. And the funny thing about that Bluetooth is, you know, the Bluetooth uses a blue light, and when I turn this on for cabled use, the light lights up kind of a white light or green light at first, and then I'll put it on my head, play some music, and then take it off my head, and of course it stops the music instantly. That's another thing I don't like. It's not defeatable, apparently, without the app. And because of that, you can't burn them in unless you have them on your head, or unless you simulate that by wrapping them up in something so the ear cups are covered. So anyway, that's a negative on this. But anyway, when I play music with the cable in, take them off my head, that blue light is flashing. So it's going to be seeking Bluetooth, I guess, no matter what you do. You can't really turn the Bluetooth off like you can the noise canceling. So it's just when you plug a cable in, it automatically turns it off, it says. For $300, probably not a bad deal. I'm going to show you my judgment of the frequency response compared to the sound of live music rather than compared to my hearing. So, and also compared to literally hundreds of other headphones. Gotten a pretty good idea of what these things sound like now in a neutral sense compared to neutrality. So let's see, I took a picture of this curve that I did, and here's what it looks like. We can see that. So I pushed down around 77 hertz a little bit because the bass is very strong there, and I recessed the sound around centered around 330 hertz, I think, but covering about 300 to 600, push that down almost 6 decibels there. It's quite an emphasis. Or maybe that's 5 decibels. But anyway, the treble is better than average for $300, $400, $500 headphone. Better than average. Pretty good. So not much else to say on the sound there. It's as clear as it's going to be, and it does sound pretty clear, pretty good. The highs are extended, bass same way. But I just wish I could bypass that DAC. It's inside this thing. So I don't know. Like I said, for the discount price being a year old and everything else, I'd say it's an okay deal. Not a great bargain, but at the original $400 price, you really are paying for the bling here. So that's about all I got to say for this BMW PX. I like it, and I'll probably like it even after having it on for quite a while. But your mileage may vary, so here we go. Thank you very much.